So, good morning, Level Up Lobby. I trust you're all doing amazingly. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Linda Carmichael. I'm a mindset mentor and a PGI consultant. And this morning, on these Sunday sessions where I've recently created, I'll be just picking a topic that speaks to me during the week, and I will be teaching you, giving you guidance, and basically as much help as I can. So, probably pretty good to have a pen and paper as I share some of my thoughts, my findings, and I trust that really gives you value. So thank you so much for joining me today. Good morning, ladies. So, accountability. This is a concept that was new to me before I started my personal development journey. But you know what? Thank goodness we as people care so much about what other people think, because that's what makes accountability really effective. If we didn't care what everybody else thought of us, then accountability wouldn't work, because it's that human nature inside of us where we care a little bit about what we say. Nobody wants to let people down. We don't want to be made out to be liars or people who are not effective or lazy. This is why accountability, our own default, is actually why accountability is so good. And when we are going for goals, and most of us actually are just going for B-type goals, and those kind of goals where you're doing it, but you run out of steam at times and you're not really motivated and it's not really inspiring. And if you're not sure the difference between a B-type goal and a C-type goal, drop in the comments C-type goal and I will send you a link to my last webinar I had at the end of December, which is all about goal creation, because there's some really crucial goal creation steps inside that webinar that's going to really clarify that up. And I might actually give you some realization as to maybe why you haven't been going for your goals. But accountability, it is just incredible. And I wanted to share some ideas about accountability, more so because as a human being on our own, you would need to have a really strong will and discipline to hold yourself accountable towards your goals. And I would say about 97% of us don't have that capability. We're working on it, but we don't have it. And it's the reason why people who sign up for gym membership and people who sign up for gym membership and a PT have completely different results. Because when you're showing up for somebody else and somebody's expecting you, we have that urge to do better, and it really does make a big difference. So, holding yourself accountable. You can hold yourself accountable, but it is so much better if you've got a friend, someone to hold you accountable. It could be your friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a mentor such as myself. There's nothing more effective when you're answerable to somebody else. It's the same if you are going to school as a student. If your teacher is expecting homework, you're going to make sure you've got it done. You're not going to be, I'll do it, even though it's for your own benefit. And the teacher knows it's for your own benefit, but them putting that on you, saying, I want this done for this time, really gets us going and gets us moving. And the most important thing about goals are, a goal is just a dream, unless you take action. And this is the whole purpose of having an accountability partner, is to keep you moving, keep you going, keep you taking action and stepping out into your, out of your comfort zone and maybe doing things that are a little bit scary. I have two accountability partners because that's how effective it is. I have one within my coaching community, so a like-minded person. And I also have another one outside of that community, but it's a woman who's an entrepreneur and totally different industry, but we can hold ourselves accountable for different things. And I actually make it fun. We don't make it a competition, but it really drives us. So those are the kind of people I've attracted. It really drives us to go forward. But during the week, Sandy Gallagher, who is a business partner with Walt Proctor, shared some really good points about how to select accountability partner. Now, for those of you watching, and whether you're watching live or whether you're watching a replay, let me know, do you have an accountability partner? I would love to know. And it doesn't matter if you don't, But if you are going towards goals and there's something you really want to achieve, especially if there's a time frame that you really want to hit that target, get yourself an accountability partner. And I'm going to give you some, just some little points to keep in mind, okay? The first one I would say, this is even outside of what Sandy, I've got some points here written down from one of the last things I watched from Sandy. This is the first one, okay? When you do have an accountability partner, it is crucial that you're not spending time talking about all the things you didn't get done, or all the mistakes, or all the mishaps, or all the targets you missed, okay? We do not want to spend any time in the past, especially if it is negative, because remembering the law of cause and effect, what you put out must by law come back through one form or another. So if you're complaining that you didn't get your sales, or if you're complaining or moaning that you didn't reach your 5K in your run this week, or if you're complaining about X, Y, and Z, that will by law come back to you. So when you're in, and this is why it's so crucial about who you select as your accountability partner. So when you are having these conversations, it's all about, what can I do next? What do I need to be held accountable for in order to move forward? Now, we're not talking big leaps and bounds here. I meet with my accountability partner every week. And it's just little small steps. And it helps you create those habits. So if you're trying to create a habit that's going to help you get towards your goal, show up with them every week, at least. Depending on what you're doing, maybe you want to show up every day. You could be sending them a text message to let them know that you've done what you said you were going to do. Yeah, so I've just looked at the comments there. Lisa, many accountability partners. She knows if she didn't have them, she wouldn't move forward. So these are a few of the things, okay, when you're selecting accountability partner. And the first thing is, it doesn't have to be someone you know, but I have met people that were complete strangers, but I kind of knew what they were into, and I got the vibe that they were going to be a good selection, okay? You want them to be like-minded. So you want it to be somebody who's always going to drive you forward, okay? And you'll know when you have a quick conversation with somebody whether they're going to be that person, because if they're speaking positively most of the time, that's where you want to go. If they're speaking negatively most of the time, you don't have time for that energy. You've got goals to get, okay? Goals to achieve. So we want to spend time on positivity. So that's why with my clients, I've created a community, like-minded people. It's great, then they can select their own accountability partner in there if they so wish. Okay? So first one is, decide when you're going to talk. Okay? This is actually a really, it's one that's going to push people out of their comfort zone, because you're going to have a schedule, and one that you're going to have to stick to. And if you're anything like me, that I was in the past, time was not my friend. I was always chasing time. There was never enough time. Okay? I spent many months changing that time paradigm so that I carved time into my day and I created time rather than kind of running after time. So you're going to need to figure out when you're going to do it, what day, okay, and how long. But it has to be like set in stone, okay? It's like my husband and I have every Thursday night is date night. Now, we might not do something fancy, we're just at home, but nobody calls, nobody books a night out, nobody asks us to go anywhere unless we're arranging it for us. There's no hairdressing appointments, there's no watching football with the boys. It's Thursday night set in stone, okay? And once you get into it, once you make that commitment, it's really easy to stick to. It becomes a habit. Okay, so decide when you're going to talk, and then you're going to show up. So you're making this commitment every single week. Now, say for example, you are going to say, we're going to meet up once a week for an hour. Great. But maybe something's coming up. And I know life does get in the way. You still have an option. You can say, right, okay, look, maybe something's coming up. I cannot do an hour, but I'm going to make sure I call them for 5 minutes. Always make that connection every single week. And be like, when you are going to cancel something or rearrange it, ask yourself, do I really need to do this, or can I power through, okay? Because your paradigm is going to be against you. Don't forget, it's not about the time paradigm. It's the paradigm in your self-image that is going to keep you back from achieving your goals. They are so sneaky, okay? Sometimes it's better to pause and say, why am I cancelling this? Really? It's not always the most conscious thought in your mind. Go in a little bit deeper, okay? So we're showing up. The next thing is eliminate distractions, okay? So it's going to be a time where the kiddies are knocking at the door, or, maybe I'm just thinking for me, like if I was getting deliveries, like I would make sure that day I don't book any deliveries for anything. Make sure the dogs are quiet, turn off your phone. So even though when I came on this live, my phone's on just to make sure I come on to Facebook Live, because even though I know I will, I just like to check, okay? That's my week work. But my phone's on silent because I don't want any distractions or interruption, because when you're in the flow of brainstorming and getting ideas and what you're going to do, you don't want to interrupt that, because I'm sure, as most of you know, when you're in that flow, it's so good and it's so powerful, and there's nothing more annoying than a little knock on the door. So tell your partner you're busy, tell your colleagues if you're, want to book out a meeting room, please do not disturb. Whatever you need to do, make sure there are no distractions, okay? And that way as well, I'm just looking at the points here written, you're totally present for your accountability partner, okay? If you're looking at your phone and you've seen a wee message come up and you say, oh, it's the hubby, he's looking to know what's for dinner, you're not being present for your accountability partner, okay? So phones away, all the things. You know what I'm talking about. And have an agenda. So it means you stick to it, because if you're anything like me, I love a wee chat and then you might get distracted, and next thing you know, you're talking about where you're going on holidays, and you're maybe telling a story about something that happened. Avoid all those distractions, okay? This is what the agenda is for. Now, from time to time, you may stray away from the topic at hand, but when you've got an agenda in front of you, you can go, oh, sorry, right, let's get back to what we were discussing, okay? So in this agenda, these are things you want to include, okay? Just an update. Share your wins. Celebrate each other's wins of the week. I do this with my clients every week. That's what we start off, like, what were your wins? And they're neither big nor small. They're all incredible, okay? And it's a great way to celebrate your achievements, okay? And then you can discuss challenges, okay, or issues with respect to your goal. But again, being mindful that you don't spend too much time in the negative part of that. You can say, this happened, this is what I'd like to happen, and then we're going to get into ideas and brainstorming how we can change things up. Maybe you need to tweak your plan you've been doing every week to make a difference, okay? And then another thing, actually, and this is what I do as well, for the next week, at the end, we'll go, okay, well, what do you want to achieve this week? What are your goals for this week? Or is there something specific that you really want to be held accountable for? So, for example, if it was me and I was holding a workshop, and I'll go, okay, text me on this day to make sure I've got a name for my workshop, because I really want it to be ready for that day so I can start my marketing. Okay? It could be something really simple, but having someone there just for that one little thing can make a difference, because we know what we're like as human beings. Sometimes we like to have everything ready before we can start. So if you're a person like, oh, you know what, see if I don't have a name for this, or if I haven't made that call, I'm not going to make a start on the rest of that goal or the work towards that goal. That's what and it could be the simplest little thing. It's just so funny how we operate as human beings. So that could be one thing. And then say, I'm going to make sure that I have done my marketing, or I've trained 3 times a week, or I'm going to change up my meal plan, or whatever it is. Maybe you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to focus on social media this week. I'm going to make sure that I've done X amount of posts and videos and reels and stories, and all those exhausting things with social media. I know there are amazing people out there who love social media. I do like it, but it's a lot of work, and I'm sure a lot of you watching would agree. So those are the things, okay? And the next thing is, be very frank and direct with your accountability partner. There's a difference between being hard on yourself and being tough with yourself, okay? It's not a pat your back, there, you're okay. We're trying to inspire people to keep going. Are they, basically call them out in their BS. Can you see where they are sabotaging themselves? And go, hey, what are you talking about? That's not the case. What about A, B, C, and D? and get them moving. Don't let them stay in that place too long. Because we know what it's like. You know, we give ourselves these excuses, and hearing these truths are going to make us move forward. I get it. They're not always nice to hear, but trust me, wouldn't you much rather somebody be honest with you rather than telling you what you wanted to hear and you were just moving in the wrong direction, or continue to move in the same direction and getting nowhere forward? So yeah, that's my little tips for accountability. So important. As I said before, if you are not moving towards your goal, well, the first thing I would ask you is, what is your goal? Because if it's not inspiring you to take any action, there's something deeper there. But accountability is the next step for you. So if you are, and I think especially when you're scaling your business, or maybe you're upping your fitness plan or whatever it is, you do need that sort of, like, you know, and it could be really silly things. It could be something around your house. Like I remember, my friend, I really wanted to buy a new mattress for my bed, okay? Something really simple, okay? But I was so busy. Oh my goodness, I kept putting it off. But I really wanted one, and I knew that I would have much more comfortable sleep and a better quality of life when I bought this new mattress. So I remember texting my friend, like, you make sure you text me in 2 weeks and make sure I've ordered that mattress, okay? Something so silly, so simple, but makes such a big impact to your life. So, you know, when I come on here, it's not just about being in business. This material is about your whole life and every aspect of that, you know, your health, your wealth, and your happiness. So, you know, if it is just texting your friend saying, will you just make sure I've done this, and you know that they're going to show off you, it's going to make so much difference. I'm going to wrap it up there for this morning. Please leave your comments below. Leave me your feedback. Tell me you liked it, if you want more. And I will see you all again next Sunday with a brand new topic.